incarcerated individual at Polk County South Jail. This call is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored. If you believe this should be a private call, please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number. To accept charges and consent to this recorded call, press 1. To review, thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
All praise JAH King. With agriculture being the primary economic resource of JAH people, Emperor Haile Selassie would initiate steps to support and increase land use. Under him rule, cooperatives were established between JAH government and JAH people. Moreover, security measures were enacted to ensure that those who contributed to Ethiopian farming could be confident in their investment, while those that relied on farming for livelihood would reap maximum benefit from their labor. Among these enactments, national insurance would be provided to mitigate market fluctuations. Modern techniques were introduced, for example, for eradication of pestilence and stimulation of production. Interest-free lending was administered. Food shortages were reduced by construction of storage facilities. Dams were built to channel irrigation, and academic resources were aligned with JAH agricultural sector. By leveraging programs for development, focus was brought to raising the standard of living for all Ethiopians. One of such programs is the implementation of JAH Agricultural Development Center in Awassa. This next speech brings to remembrance this moment. Every structure must be built on a solid foundation, for those constructed otherwise would soon collapse. JAH Proclamation, by where we made land grants to JAH entire Ethiopian people, is JAH foundation of this project. Recipients of land grants, as well as those who had previously owned their holdings, do not, by merely owning of such land, satisfy JAH requirements. They must make proper use of JAH land, not only for their own benefit, and as much as that of JAH people. We shall not permit any land to be followed. It gives us great pleasure today to lay JAH cornerstone of JAH First Community Development Center at Awassa, a project that we have long evinced a keenest interest and encouraged highest hopes. This project possesses a potential of JAH highest order and contains within it JAH seeds for a growth extending far beyond what anyone could have envisioned. Trainees who will come to this center will receive instruction in methods and techniques that, well and properly applied, could have a greatest impact upon JAH future development of our empire. Community development is fundamentally assisting a people whose economic, social, and administrative life is still in a relatively undeveloped state, to organize and focus their energies upon a solution of common problems. For a man to remain isolated and separated from his neighbors, and to have no access to sources of knowledge, is to remain prey to ills and plagues which afflict mankind in its primitive state. Joining together in a unified effort to overcome perils of nature and dangers that beset man on all sides is the very basis of society and the way that humanity, since the dawn of history, has assured its survival. As self-help is so basic to free development of life of a people, so assistance and aid and techniques of self-help must inevitably contribute to a more highly developed society. Education is JAH means by where our people can make a most efficient use of human, natural, and material resources that are already at hand for the amelioration of their problems and improvement of their way of life. It is fitting that this center should be located on this area, for nearby is a site of one of JAH's first agricultural cooperatives that is being developed by our government. Interaction between this training center and JAH Cooperative Farm will provide the center with a laboratory at first hand, where those who are receiving instruction here may observe in action procedures and techniques to where they are being instructed. At the same time, JAH Cooperative Farm will benefit from close proximity of this center and will stand ready at all times to render advice and assistance on complex problems that are posed for any group of people who embark together on a new way of life. Through man's quest for knowledge, having resulted in securing benefits of science and technology, we have found ways to overcome what only few generations ago had looked insurmountable. This is to search, to know, and to apply knowledge that has been acquired. In many parts of the world, some people who had never swerved from reaching their objectives through education have exploited wealth of their land through mechanized farming and building of industries, and have not only developed a high standard of living, yet have also come to aid of undeveloped countries. All this has been possible through a constant desire for development and devotion to a search for knowledge as a key to economic, social, and cultural advancement. JAH Almighty, through benevolence, has blessed us with fertile lands that hold great wealth. However, because it has not been developed according to modern methods, a raising of the standard of living of our people could not be accelerated according to our desire. As a result, economic conditions of JAH people lacked the preferred coordination. A close observer of problems and needs of our people, we have ordered many studies to be conducted for establishing several schools and training centers founded in time. Even though our desire for attaining highest objectives is considerable, our people, for whose benefit we strive relentlessly, must realize JAH purpose of various institutions we establish. To assist with all their efforts and to be spiritually prepared for tasks lying ahead, we also declare to our people on our return from foreign visits. It is no use to say that one has land and money under certain unforeseen circumstances could avail nothing. As we lay here JAH Foundation Stone for a community development center today, we have great hopes in students who will be therein, as well as in other centers. They will become a stimulus to others, not only to pay lip service to the needs of JAH country, yet to show results in practice. During our visit to Europe, the Far East, and America within the past few years, we have found how peoples of the world, through a definite planning and cooperative system, have overcome problems posed by economic and social development and attained a high standard of living. We realize that our country also encounters some same problems of development, and to reach our avowed goal, it behoves us to remove any detrimental traditional obstacles on our way, and to fill our duties in conformity with exigencies of modern times, as well as within a framework of international requirements. Our forefathers had fought to preserve independence of our country, so that we may be able to utilize its rich resources, thereby enriching ourselves, but not so that it may lay barren as to incite envy of others and to invite in the usurper. Therefore, in order to escape from such a catastrophe, which become a lazy leader with lazy followers, it is our duty to teach our people to labor unceasingly for development of our country and to struggle for attainment of a decent standard of living. For there is no need of education to the wise, nor doctors for the healthy. Our continued efforts in giving money to our deserving subjects so that they may be able to develop their plots of land, thereby enabling them to be self-sufficient, have not so far produced desired results. In particular, we have observed that our Muslim people, who are by nature good fighters, could not make good use of land where granted because they lag behind in agricultural techniques. We are not encouraged by the realization of our wishes so far. For this reason, we have ourselves organized JAH Initial Project and have made preparations and provided technicians so that assistance may be made available under direct supervision of our Minister of National Community Development, so that when land is developed to give continued benefit, our subjects will take responsibility to be in a position to support themselves and their families. Our loyal subjects, those present and those coming, we remember JAH services you rendered in JAH military fields. If you work with diligence supported all our efforts in building more schools. It is gratifying to see our people brace up for JAH tasks facing them by constant devotion to our ideals and by taking advantages of JAH institutions established. We express our deep gratitude to the United States government for having granted financial aid for this community development center, whose foundation stone we laid today. Emperor Haile Selassie, JAH 1st, July 23rd, 1960. Before man was created, JAH Elohim said it. Let JAH earth bring forth grass, JAH herb seed and fruit tree. And out of JAH ground, pleasant to see and good for me. Sin made Adam sweat to bring forth his bread, till he returned to dust that make forth his bed. So Noah was a farmer who planted a vineyard, to be discovered uncovered, a curse to his son, a blessing to others. One of whom was Abraham, who went into a strange land. When JAH famine was sore, he came out rich with cattle and gold. His seed would be blessed, his offspring would grow. How else would they be blessed unless JAH seed they sow? And Isaac his son gave Jacob his blessing. So JAH dew on JAH harvest may bring forth in plenty. His wife would be found with sheep by JAH well. Israel opened JAH rock to water JAH flock. Fed 7 years for Leah and 7 for Rachel. He exceedingly increased and had much cattle. Joseph became ruler by interpreting a dream that led to storing a time of famine. 7 years of plenty supplanted 7 years of hunger, until JAH children came seeking food in Egypt shelter. 12 brothers with flocks they would eventually see. Out of JAH land of Canaan to Egypt they herd sheep. Even as Moses until JAH Exodus, when they fled from hard labor, JAH children ate manna. They were promised a land filled with wheat and barley, figs, pomegranates, olive oil, and honey. A maid gleaned in JAH field conceived seed to be father of David, a shepherd who defeated a giant to be given JAH covenant. Israel is JAH vineyard, so Isaiah say, a flock of JAH sheep in Ezekiel's day, once scattered, now gathered to feed on good pasture, so that we shall be no more consumed by hunger. JAH tree of JAH field shall yield, JAH earth shall increase, and JAH Messiah shall come to plant JAH good seed. Sown is JAH least, and grown is JAH greatest. Even JAH fowls lodge under JAH shadow. And a man paid a penny to JAH laborers and JAH vineyard, then lent out JAH vineyard.
You have 1 minute
to
left.
those who killed JAH servants, so that JAH vineyard would go to those who would deserve it. And a certain man planted a fig tree, remained barren, when his servant said, let it alone this year, so it may prove it is worthy. JAH is gathering our people to tend to his field and take care of his flock. Let us prove ourselves worthy. For JAH Emperor on his birthday. And all our people say,
JAH
JAH
Rastafari.
And all our people say,
JAH Rastafari.
And all our people say,
JAH Rastafari.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.